The human Jake had always been curious. That curiosity was what had taken him across galaxies, far beyond the solar system, into the uncharted sectors where few humans had ever dared to go. His small exploration ship hummed steadily as it glided through the asteroid belt of the Zorathian system. The stars shimmered around him, cold and distant, but the warmth of adventure kept him alert. He had received a strange distress signal earlier that day, a signal unlike any recorded in the United Earth Federation databases. It was faint but insistent, pulsing in a rhythm that seemed almost alive. Most pilots would have ignored it, dismissing it as interference from cosmic dust or a malfunction in their equipment. But Jake's curiosity always pushed him toward the unusual, toward the unknown. Following the signal, he discovered a planet that had not been charted on any star maps. Its surface glimmered with a soft greenish light, and the atmosphere shimmered with colors that made his instruments struggle to calibrate. He landed carefully on a smooth plateau near a canyon rim. The distress signal came from deep within the canyon, somewhere near what appeared to be the ruins of an alien city. As Jake prepared his exploration suit, he noticed a small figure moving near the edge of the canyon. It was an alien girl no taller than a human child with silver-blue skin that seemed to glow faintly. Her large eyes reflected fear and confusion. She raised her hand in a cautious wave, and Jake could sense her hesitation. "Hello," Jake said softly, keeping his hands visible. "I'm not here to hurt you." The alien girl stepped back slightly. "Please, don't open that door," she said in halting English, her voice trembling. Jake noticed her lips formed words differently, as if she had learned the language only recently. Jake frowned. "Door? What door?" "The door in the ruins," she replied, pointing toward a massive, half-buried structure at the canyon's center. Its surface was etched with strange symbols that pulsed faintly, as if alive. "If you open it, everything will change." Jake's curiosity surged. His entire career had been about finding new worlds, discovering alien civilizations, and exploring mysteries no human had solved. A door that could change everything sounded like the ultimate discovery. "I need to see it," Jake said firmly, stepping toward the ruins. "I promise I'll be careful." The alien girl's eyes widened and she shook her head. "No, you don't understand. It's not safe. You cannot know what it contains." Jake paused, glancing at her. There was a desperation in her eyes he had never seen before. She seemed so small, so fragile. Yet something in her tone suggested a wisdom that belied her appearance. Despite this, he could not resist the pull of the unknown. He moved toward the structure, scanning the surface with his instruments. The symbols seemed to react to his presence, faintly glowing brighter. The girl followed at a distance, murmuring warnings in her strange accent. When Jake reached the massive doorway, he found it sealed by a mechanism unlike anything he had seen. It was not a simple lock, but a complex combination of energy fields and geometric patterns. He studied it carefully, tracing the symbols with his gloved hands. "I think I can open it," he muttered. The alien girl's face went pale. "No, you cannot. The energy inside, it will break you if you are not ready." Jake paused again, considering her words. He had faced dangerous planets, alien predators, and radiation storms. Nothing had ever broken him, physically or mentally. Yet looking at the alien girl, he felt a strange unease, an instinctive warning that this was different. Still, curiosity won. He activated his tool, sending a small pulse into the energy field. The symbols reacted immediately, shifting like living code. The door hummed and began to slowly part, revealing a dim light from within. The alien girl stepped closer, trembling. "Please, I beg you, don't," she whispered, her hands clutching at the edge of the doorway. Jake hesitated, then reached forward. The moment he crossed the threshold, a wave of energy surged into him, not harming his body but touching his mind. Memories, emotions, visions, floods of alien history, cultures, and knowledge rushed through him. He staggered, trying to maintain control. The alien girl gasped. "I told you. I told you." Jake dropped to his knees, overwhelmed. His mind reeled with the weight of information he could not process. Images of civilizations rising and falling, wars, alliances, technological marvels, and personal tragedies flashed before him. He realized the door was not just a physical barrier, but a repository of an entire alien civilization's collective memory. For the next hour, Jake struggled to absorb what he saw. His own identity seemed to blur with the experiences of countless beings. He understood languages he had never studied, saw inventions he had never imagined, and felt emotions that were not his own. He saw the alien girl as a child of this civilization, entrusted with guarding the door. Finally, he collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath, his mind still buzzing with knowledge. The alien girl knelt beside him, her small hand steadying him. You survived," she whispered, her voice filled with awe. "No human has ever survived before." Jake looked at her, a mixture of fear and amazement in his eyes. I saw everything," he said slowly. "I can't forget it. But I understand now," the girl nodded. "You are different. Human minds are not built for this. You are special." As he recovered, Jake realized the enormity of what he had done. By opening the door, he had connected himself to the memory of an entire civilization, gaining knowledge that could change humanity forever. But with that knowledge came responsibility and danger. There were forces unknown and powerful that would want to claim what he now carried. The alien girl helped him to his feet. "You must leave," she said urgently. "The door, it watches. It will protect itself if it senses threats. We must move before it calls others." Jake nodded. Though his body felt weak, his mind was sharp. Together they navigated the ruins, careful not to trigger any more defenses. He realized that the alien girl had not just warned him out of fear, but because she had been the last guardian of this knowledge, hoping to protect both him and her people from the consequences of its release. Outside, the sky of the uncharted planet glowed with green and purple hues. The canyon seemed calm again, hiding the immense power of the door behind its ancient walls. Jake and the girl paused, looking back at the ruins. A bond had formed between them, born of shared experience and the knowledge of what had been released. "This changes everything," Jake said, his voice quiet but resolute. "Not just for me, for everyone." The girl nodded, her eyes reflecting hope and fear at the same time. "Yes, but we must be careful. There are those who would use this knowledge for harm." "You must survive," Jake smiled faintly. "I always do," he said, though he knew this time would be different. He carried not just human courage, but the weight of an alien civilization's memories, hopes, and warnings. And he would have to learn how to wield it wisely. The alien girl extended her hand. "I am Lyra," she said. "And you are?" "Jake," he replied, taking her hand. "And it looks like our journey is just beginning." As they walked toward his ship, the canyon's glow faded behind them, leaving only the stars. Jake felt a mixture of awe, fear, and exhilaration. He had opened the door, faced the unimaginable, and survived. But he knew that the story was far from over. Somewhere out there, forces beyond comprehension were taking notice, and the human who dared to cross thresholds no one else would might be humanity's greatest hope, or its greatest danger. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, but Jake was ready. Curiosity had led him here, and now courage would carry him forward. Jake and Lyra moved quickly across the plateau toward his ship, but the air felt heavier now, as if the planet itself was aware of what had happened. The ruins behind them seemed quiet, but Jake sensed the energy of the door lingering in the canyon, a silent, watchful presence. He glanced at Lyra. She looked tense, her large eyes scanning the horizon for threats invisible to him. "There's something you haven't told me," Jake said, breaking the silence. "Why was that door so dangerous? Why did you warn me?" Lyra hesitated, her gaze dropping to the ground. "The door holds the memories of my people, our history, our power, and our mistakes. It is not just knowledge. It is alive in a way. It protects itself. It changes anyone who enters." Jake thought of the overwhelming flood of visions he had felt inside the ruins. "I know what you mean. I felt it, everything. But I survived. I can use this knowledge to help people, humans, your people." "Everyone," Lyra shook her head. "Not everyone is ready. Some would take it and destroy everything. That is why the door was sealed. Only those who are worthy can survive it." Jake nodded slowly. He understood now that this encounter had been more than a simple exploration. It was a test, and somehow he had passed. He glanced at Lyra again, realizing that her fear was not just for herself but for the consequences of what he now carried. They reached his ship, a small exploration vessel designed for speed and adaptability. Jake powered it up, the engines humming with familiar energy. He opened the cargo bay and gestured for Lyra to enter. "We need to move. I don't know what's coming, but I can feel it." Lyra climbed aboard, her movements graceful but cautious. The door, It can call others, she said softly. Creatures, watchers, even guardians that we have never seen. If it senses that knowledge leaving this planet, it will send them after us. Jake's jaw tightened. He had faced hostile environments before, but the thought of unknown entities hunting them across space made his pulse quicken. Then we won't just run. We'll be ready. As they lifted off, the canyon below shrank into the distance. The ruins, now quiet again, seemed almost peaceful. But Jake knew better. He could still feel the remnants of energy from the door, a subtle vibration that seemed to pulse through his own mind. Where do we go now? Lyra asked, settling into the co-pilot seat. We need to find a safe place, Jake replied. Somewhere we can study the knowledge I absorbed, learn how to control it, and prepare for whatever comes next. Lyra nodded. There is a place, she said. An ancient sanctuary on my planet's moon. It is hidden, protected by old defenses. My people used it to preserve knowledge and train those chosen to handle it. Jake's curiosity sparked again. Then we have a destination. Take us there. The journey to Lyra's moon was not simple. The Zorathian system was filled with asteroid fields and radiation storms, and Jake had to navigate carefully. Yet his mind, sharpened by the memories from the door, helped him anticipate dangers with uncanny precision. He maneuvered the ship expertly, avoiding collisions and maintaining a steady course. Lyra watched him with a mixture of amazement and relief. You move as if you know every path, she said quietly. It is impressive. Jake smiled faintly. I feel like I've seen these routes before. Maybe I have, in a way. After several hours, they arrived at the moon, a rocky body with jagged cliffs and hidden valleys. Jake guided the ship into a concealed cavern, the entrance shielded by holographic projections that made it invisible to anyone searching from space. Inside, the sanctuary revealed itself, a vast chamber carved into the rock, filled with crystalline devices and glowing symbols similar to those on the door. Lyra stepped forward, her eyes wide. This is where I trained, where those chosen by the door prepared for what comes next. Jake looked around, fascinated. He had seen alien technology before, but this was different. Everything here seemed alive, resonating with energy that interacted with the mind. He could feel the connection between the crystals and the memories he now carried. Lyra guided him to a platform in the center. We can use this to help you stabilize the knowledge. If you are to survive what comes next, you must learn to focus it, to use it without being overwhelmed. Jake nodded. He could feel the weight of the memories pressing on him, but he also sensed potential. Knowledge that could advance humanity, prevent disasters, and create alliances with civilizations he had never imagined. For days they trained. Lyra helped him channel the knowledge, teaching him how to separate his own thoughts from the flood of alien memories. He learned languages, strategies, histories, and technologies, and each day he grew stronger. He began to see solutions to problems humanity had struggled with for decades: energy sources, planetary defense strategies, and ways to communicate across vast distances instantly. Yet, the sanctuary was not completely safe. Jake could feel disturbances outside, subtle shifts in energy that suggested watchers or other forces moving through the system. He and Lyra prepared defenses, using the sanctuary's technology to create shields and early warning systems. Every night he stared at the stars, knowing that danger was coming, but confident that he was ready to face it. One evening, while studying a holographic map of nearby star systems, Jake noticed a strange signal, a pulse that matched the energy he had felt from the door. He looked at Lyra, concern etched on his face. It's coming, he said. Lyra's eyes widened. The Guardians. They have detected the release of knowledge. We must be ready. They will come to test you, and they will not stop until they know if you are worthy. Jake's mind raced. He had survived the door, mastered its knowledge, and prepared defenses, but now he faced an external threat. He realized that the true challenge was not surviving the knowledge itself, but surviving the universe's reaction to it. The first attack came without warning. A fleet of alien ships unlike anything Jake had seen emerged from the shadows of space. Their shapes were irregular, organic yet mechanical, and they moved with coordinated precision. The sanctuary's shields flared as the ships fired energy pulses. Jake and Lyra worked in tandem, activating defensive arrays and redirecting energy to critical points. The sanctuary shuddered under the onslaught, but it held. Jake's understanding of alien technology allowed him to anticipate the attackers' moves, giving them a strategic advantage. Despite the chaos, Jake felt a strange calm. He had faced impossible odds before, but now, with the memories of countless civilizations guiding him, he felt prepared. Every decision, every maneuver was informed by knowledge he could never have gained on his own. Lyra watched him, admiration in her eyes. "You are more than human," she whispered. "You are something else. Something the universe has chosen." The battle raged for hours, but Jake and Lyra held their ground. Using the sanctuary systems, they managed to create an energy pulse that disrupted the attackers' coordination, forcing them to retreat. The aftermath left the sanctuary damaged but intact. Jake looked around, exhausted but resolute. "This is just the beginning," he said. "We know now that there are forces out there watching, testing, maybe even challenging humanity. But we're ready. Together we can face whatever comes next." Lyra nodded, a small smile on her face. "Yes, and now you understand why I warned you. The knowledge is powerful, but it is dangerous. You must always be careful, Jake. The universe will always test those who carry it." Jake placed a hand on the console, feeling the pulse of the sanctuary, the resonance of the door's knowledge within him. "I will protect it," he said firmly. "Not just for myself, but for both our peoples, and for everyone who needs it." As they prepared to repair the sanctuary and plan their next steps, Jake realized the truth of his journey. Curiosity had brought him here, but courage, wisdom, and responsibility would carry him forward. He had crossed thresholds no human had dared, survived the unimaginable, and now held the potential to change the course of history. The stars outside shone brightly, full of mystery and promise. Jake knew that this adventure was only the start of something far greater. And with Lyra by his side, he felt ready to face it all: guardians, challenges, and the vast unknown of the universe. In that moment, he understood that being human was not just about survival. It was about courage, curiosity, and the will to reach beyond what anyone thought possible. And in the quiet of the sanctuary, amidst alien crystals and echoes of an ancient civilization, Jake felt a sense of purpose deeper than he had ever known. The universe had tested him, and he had survived. But now the real journey was beginning.